And we welcome you back inside Glendale High School, side of the Missouri Class 5 District 11 Championship night. A terrific girls contest won by Hillcrest 49-48. It is time for the boys championship matchup between the top seed Glendale Falcons and the number 2 seed Waynesville Tigers. Hi again, everybody. Mike McClure along with Corey Riggs, and this should be a tremendous high-scoring matchup tonight. Glendale at 21-6, Waynesville at 17-9, and Corey, probably not very much time to take breaths in this game. Both teams really like to get it up and down the floor. This ought to be a lot of fun. Just the opposite of what we saw in the girls' game earlier this evening.
Yeah, not a lot of time for the players, not a lot of time for the fans either. Both of these teams love to run the full floor, bring full court pressure, and just try to disrupt what the other team's offensive set is going to try and get into. We've seen Glendale a couple times this year on the Connection Channel. It'll be our first look at Waynesville, but this Glendale team can shoot from anywhere on the floor. You've heard the names, Spud Harbor, George Rosenberry. You know what they can do. The Waynesville Tigers tonight going to try and get in the face of those guards and slow this team down in the scoring column.
They better slow them down. Glendale beat Rolla 102-72 last night in the semifinals. Waynesville beat 6th-seeded Hillcrest 88-71. So you know both teams love to get it up and down the floor. Tonight's starting lineups for the Glendale Falcons and the Waynesville Tigers as the crowd settling in. It will be a nearly full house before it's all said and done. Glendale at 21-6, Waynesville at 17-9. And a look at our starting five. First of all, for Waynesville, they'll go with the 2 guards of Ernest Chambly and Frankie Long. The center is Scott Klipp, a 6'5" junior averaging 11 points per game. Michael Moore and Chris Rebuck will round out the forward positions. And for Glendale, as Corey said, kind of familiar names, the 3 guards of Kristen Steele, George Rosenberry, and Spud Harbor, and the front line of Thad Hanna and Scott Burrows. And we will see Maurice Starks come in quickly off the bench for Sean Williamson's Falcons. And there is a look at Waynesville head coach Tom Bildner in his 6th season. He's won 83-62. The Tigers were only 11-15 last year, turned it around a 17-9 mark this year, but they had lost 4 games in a row coming into this district, losing to Camdenton, West Plains, Parkview, and Kickapoo before the victory over Hillcrest, 88-71. And Tom Bildner's counterpart tonight, Sean Williamson, the Glendale head coach in his 2nd season, 44 wins, 11 losses. Glendale 23-5 a year ago, 21-6 with a 4-game winning streak coming into the ball game tonight. And Corey, in their last 6 games, Glendale is averaging 89 points per game.
That is just an obscene number in high school basketball. I mean, normally high school basketball coaches, they predicate half-court offense, slow the things down. I mean, that's why there's no shot clock in high school basketball. Take your time, get a good, fundamentally sound look. But these teams love to run and gun, love to shoot the ball. As soon as they cross the midcourt line, the ball's in play anywhere they want.
14 district titles in Glendale school history, the last one coming in 2003. They have a couple appearances in the Final Four. They were 4th in the state in 1986 and 1990. Waynesville going after their 10th district title tonight in boys basketball, their last one coming back in 2002. Glendale has dominated this series. They lead the series 14-3. And of course, they met on January 10th here in Springfield, and the Falcons won a close one, 60-56. Over Waynesville. In that ball game, Scott Burrows had 14 points to lead the Falcons. And again, just an extremely close ball game, and we anticipate another one tonight.
Well, and that's one of the things that Glendale knows how to do very well, which is win close ball games. That's a hard thing, too, especially when you look at the Tigers and the Falcons. Both of them are young. I mean, everybody knows the players' names. It seems like they've been here for 5 years or so, like they got a red shirt year. But guys like Spud Harbor, Scott Burrows for Glendale, they've only got, the Falcons have 2 seniors that start. There are only 2 seniors that start for Waynesville. Half of this team is going to be back for next season on both sides of the ball. So very exciting things still to come for both of these programs as we're ready to get this one underway.
Waynesville in orange, Glendale in white. Tim McKnight will step in the center circle, joined by Stacy Estes and Denver Bates, our 3-man officiating crew for this district championship, the tap won by the Falcons. Waynesville will open up in a man-to-man defense. Tristan Steele off to Spud Harbor, who went over the 1,000-point mark in his career. In the last ball game, a charging foul called on Thad Hanna.
Thad Hanna just muscled up that time, trying to make his way into the low post. Picks up the quick offensive foul. Not the way you want to get started. Waynesville will try to bring it the other way.
Full court press by the Falcons. Expect a lot of that tonight. But it may play in the hands of Waynesville because they love to play up-tempo. Clip called for traveling.
And 2 quick turnovers, one on the charge and now one on traveling on big 44, Scott Clip. He's their center, the 6'5" junior. Not exactly the guy you want handling the ball at midcourt, but that's what a full court press will do to you. It will get the ball into the hands of people that may not need to dribble.
Straight on 3 for Spud Harbor. His 56th three-point basket of the season.
And you have to have a hand in the face of Spud Harbor. We're going to see another turnover now. Waynesville giving the ball back to the Falcons on back-to-back possessions. But you cannot leave Spud Harbor unguarded anywhere on the floor. Not only is he creative with the pass, but he can launch from anywhere once he crosses half court, and here he goes again.
Just inside the three-point arc, that one won't go down. And all orange jerseys underneath. Ernest Chamblee, great feed to Rebuck. But Chamblee called for a charge underneath after the pass.
Well, they had a nice 2-on-1 break going that time, Mike, but unfortunately, right after Chamblee dished the pass for what was going to be an easy layup, he went ahead and ran over the Falcon defender.
Winner of this game will play Wednesday at 8:15 at Southwest Baptist University in the Class 5 sectionals, playing either Kickapoo or Nixa. That district championship game tonight at Joplin High School. That
game just got underway right before this one did for us, Mike, and it was 5-3 when I was listening to Kickapoo's favor.
George Rosenberry hits the 3. 6-0 Falcons and a steal. Rosenberry tipped, no good. As Hannah couldn't get it to go down. Rebuck, guarded by Steele. The transfer from Georgia forces the turnover. 3-on-1. And Steele will lose it out of bounds. Gives it right back to Waynesville.
Now another quick turnover, and that's kind of been the story here early as we've got a 6-0 Falcon lead. Waynesville and Glendale both coughing up the ball when they try to get in the offensive set.
Glendale giving up 63 points per game. Waynesville averaging about 60 per game. Here's a deep 3, Rebuck, too strong. Steele on the rebound for the Falcons. In transition, Harbor, pass intended for Hannah, poked out by the Tigers.
That one knocked out of bounds off the knee of Rebuck, number 33, the 6'3 sophomore. Looks like we're going to do a little sideline cleaning here before we get the inbounds pass, and gives Waynesville head coach a chance to kind of get in the ear of Tim McKnight a little bit.
Waynesville 8-2 on neutral floors this year, just 4-5 on opponents' floors, and of course this would be considered on Glendale's court, obviously. And Glendale 9-1 at home. Their only loss at home to Poplar Bluff in the championship of the Winter Classic. Harbor, while hitting the 3, buries it, and Frankie Long picks up the foul.
That would be the unique and often not seen 4-point play opportunity for Spud Harbor. The defender backs into him as Spud drains the long distance shot.
Timeout taken by Waynesville. It is a full timeout, so we'll take a break. 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. Falcons up 9-0. Show Me Showdown 2006. The Show Me State is in the grips of basketball fever and the Misha Basketball Championships. This year's Class 4 and 5 Boys and Girls Championships will be decided March 10th and 11th at the state-of-the-art Mizzou Arena on the University of Missouri-Columbia campus. For game information, log on to mshsaa.org or call the Mizzou Arena box office for tickets. Mike McClure, Corey Riggs back in Glendale. Spud, we're going for the 4-point play, and he hits the free throw.
He nails that one. Spud about the best free throw shooter on the Falcons at 85.4%.
10-0. Falcons pitching the shutout in the first 2 minutes. Left wing jumper Rebuck is up and in. Chris Rebuck averaging 13 points per game, only a sophomore. Breaks the 10-0 run for the Falcons.
Gets them off the schneid.
Rosenberry for 3. 4 threes for the Falcons, 2 apiece for Rosenberry and Harbor.
And perimeter shooting has been a key to why they can get up to 80, 88 points a game. It's always nice when you can get 3 to your opponents too.
Clip misses the 3, gets his own rebound back, missed it. And among the orange jerseys, it's Tristan Steele pulling away the rebound.
Second rebound for Steele, who's only 6'2", going up against the big Waynesville kids, but not having a problem controlling the defensive side of the glass.
Stacey Estes with a foul call on Michael Moore, his first. In for the Falcons, Maurice Starks, a 6'2" senior. Bobby Duncan, a 5'10" senior, checking in. And in for Waynesville, it's L.J. Fort, a 6-foot sophomore, making his first appearance. Scott Burrows sets a screen for Rosenberry. Harbor to Rosenberry for three. That one's short. Strong rebound by Rebuck. Frankie Long out to Chambly, misfires. Another one and out. Glendale, a tremendous job on the defensive boards.
Now you're going to get a quick foul here, Mike, on number 21, Frankie Long. This is a very attacking Waynesville defense. You see it on both sides of the floor. In every shot the cameras are giving you, you see an almost collision, if not a collision, between the Falcons and the Tigers. They just keep pressing the issue as we get some more substitutions.
Waynesville's Dwight Lawson in for the first time tonight. He wears 34. Here's Spud Harbor. Falcons up by 11. 4.5 left in the opening quarter of this district championship game. Dribble penetration by Duncan, out to Steele. And the baseline jumper by Harbor is short. Rebound pulled away by Starks for two.
Nice offensive rebound and put back that time for Maurice Starks, the 6'2" forward.
15-2 Falcons. Lawson beyond the three-point arc, down low to Fort. Strong move inside for L.J. Fort. Maurice Starks answers for Glendale.
Starks, 4 quick points off the bench for Coach Williamson, and you can't complain about that, as we'll now have a little hand check foul on Bobby Duncan, number 10 for Glendale. And both coaches, Mike, with subs set to come back in, doing a good job of trying to keep fresh legs on the floor.
Rosenberry and Hanna back in for the Falcons.
T.R. Raines checking back in also for the Tigers.
I mean, it took Glendale like 3 seconds to answer that Waynesville basket. It was like pass, shot in. Let's go the other way. Raines almost stepped in backcourt. Deep three, Rebuck, too strong. Cliff with the offensive board. Down low, Fort. Backs in on Steele for the baby hook. Falcons still with a double-digit lead. 3:15 to go in the opening quarter. Duncan. An offensive board for Hanna. Missed the follow shot. They're 2 good looks for the Falcons. They come away empty. Lawson called for the charge.
Dominique Long, the sophomore for Waynesville, the second one of those charging calls we've seen, but a good job that time by Bobby Duncan to get there, get the defensive position, keep his feet set, take the charge, and now Glendale has a chance to add to this 17-6 score they've started.
George Rosenberry inside to Steele against a double team. Will lose the basketball out of bounds.
Well, he had a hard time that time, Mike, trying to split the double team, and it just rolled out of bounds. And Waynesville with a chance to try and cut this to single digits now.
Glendale led Rolla last night at the end of the first quarter, 23-8. They're on pace to do that again tonight. Ball poked out of bounds by the Falcons. Here comes Spud Harbor back in for Sean Williamson's ball club, along with Scott Burrows.
I'd like to know if that's the name on his driver's license.
Spud?
Did his parents name him Spud, or is it actually like Phil?
I don't know. I just know I enjoy watching that young man play.
And he's only a junior. He's going to be back again next year.
L.J. Fort loses it off the inbounds pass, out of bounds. The turnover gives it to Glendale.
A lot of small mental mistakes right now for Waynesville. The turnovers, the offensive fouls, not allowing them to make this a competitive game so far with the Falcons.
Spud Harbor with the baseball pass to Rosenberry for three. 3 threes for Rosenberry in the first quarter. 20-6 Falcons. Clip hits the three.
Clip finally answers with the first long-range shot for the Tigers so far tonight, even though Rosenberry and Harbor combined for 5 threes in the first quarter.
Turnover by Glendale. Numbers for Raines. Acrobatic shot by T.R. Raines.
Unbelievable high arcing shot, never touched glass, just went almost up to the top of the backboard and then cascaded back in.
Burrows loses it out of bounds. Fortunate he didn't get called for the charge. He ran into Dwight Lawson underneath the basket. Here comes Maurice Starks back in for Glendale, replacing Kristen Steele. Pressure in backcourt by Hannah. Waynesville successfully across the timeline. 80 seconds to go in the first quarter. Waynesville down 9. LJ Fort, nice spin move on Burrows.
Another acrobatic move, Mike, as Fort now has 6 points so far. He's the leading scorer for the Tigers at this point.
7-0 run by Waynesville. They were down 20-6, now trailing 20-13. Final minute of play in the first quarter. 2-3 zone by Waynesville. Well, that's asking for trouble the way Glendale shoots threes. The zone busters.
It's almost like you're daring them to do it. They'll be more than happy to oblige you on that.
They'll accept there. All 10 players just kind of collectively catching their breath. This has been a wild pace to the first 8 minutes. But again, a nice run by Waynesville after being down 20-6 to score the last 7 points of the quarter. Five team fouls on Waynesville already, just 2 against the Falcons. Glendale student body comes to their feet inside 10 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Harbor, great pass to Burrows.
Unbelievable first pass.
The three-quarter shot will count for the Tigers. From about 70 feet, bullseye.
You've got to see this one more time before we go. Watch it as T.R. Raines drains the 70-footer. Oh my.
At the end of one, Falcons lead by 6. Mike McClure, Corey Riggs back at Glendale High School. Waynesville with the ball to open up the second quarter. A three-pointer up and in by Dwight Lawson. That one didn't come from 70 feet like the last one from T.R. Raines at the end of the first quarter, but Dwight Lawson hits the three for the Falcons. Ball poked out of bounds. Let's see. Stacey Estes checking with Tim McKnight.
Well, when's the last time you saw a 70, 75-foot jump shot back home like that?
Never.
Unbelievable.
Spud Harbor from long distance.
That's not quite as far as the one that ended the first quarter, but Spud Harbor now has 10, and the perimeter shooting keeps adding up for the Falcons.
Scott Clip. The baseline jumper by Reebok, no good. Clip with the offensive rebound. He has 5.
Yeah, 5 points now for him. And if we hadn't tell you a couple scores you're not going to believe. The girls' final from Joplin, Mike. Parkview 33, the Kickapoo Lady Chiefs 28. Parkview moves on to the sectional round. We've got a turnover here, and Glendale comes back with it.
They'll play Hillcrest at Southwest Baptist, and there is Nelson who missed it.
Goes out of bounds off the hands of Rosenberry. Waynesville will keep possession.
The boys score, Kickapoo leading Nixa 29-27. Here is Tristan Steele back in for Glendale. So Parkview girls in Hillcrest, Wednesday, March 1st at Southwest Baptist University at 6:30.
That score
Yeah.
I would love to hear the story on that game because 33-28. That somebody let the air out of the ball and Joplin.
Steele with a great steal of the inbounds pass. Spud Harbor with a prayer that's not answered. And Waynesville can cut it down to 2. Rebuck stops and pops.
Chris Rebuck, the southpaw, now has 4.
Burrows on the dribble drive, and a foul against the Tigers will be their 6th. Tim McKnight with the call.
You know, this Glendale team in Waynesville, an exciting game so far, but that just seems to be par for the course. The game you and Don had on Mediacom the other night when we were doing Glendale and Kickapoo was hands down one of the best high school games I've seen in years.
81-80.
81-80, the final score on that one, and it was just a hot contest the whole way as now the Falcons turn the ball back over. Waynesville with a chance to tie it up here and take the lead.
Both teams, Corey, in that game shot over 70% in the first half. It was just amazing. Near steal by Harbor. T.R. Raines now has it poked away. Steele's pass stolen by T.R. Raines. This is Dominic Long for 3. And I want to make a correction. That is Dominic Long, 34. One program I had Dwight Lawson as 34, but we did check at the scores table, and it is Dominic Long wearing 34 tonight rather than Dwight Lawson. So I apologize for the miscommunication to one of the programs.
I'm sure someone will forgive you.
Well, Glendale needs to get it going offensively. Only 3 points so far in the second quarter. Another Falcon turnover.
And that's one of those, Mike, where Spud Harbor is such a creative passer that sometimes the other 3 or 4 guys on the floor with him can't see the floor the way he does. That was a quick flip of the wrist, no look pass. Tristan Steele had no idea the ball was coming his way.
Waynesville looks to tie it up. They were down at one time 20-6. They were down 10-0. Waynesville will throw it away. Both teams a little poor in their passing here in the second quarter. Glendale in their school history, 4 wins away from 800. All-time 796 victories. Harbor for 3. Good job by Waynesville to keep it alive, but the Tigers poke it out of bounds.
Oh, and T.R. Raines just gave up on that ball, Mike. He thought that it was going the way of the orange and black here, and now the Falcons are going to have it as now Danny Amons checks in for Waynesville. And
they like those orange socks to go with the orange uniform for Danny Amons.
It's definitely, definitely clever. He replaces Ernest Chambly, who gets a seat now.
Falcons by 2. Burrows backdoor to Harbor. Loose ball picked up by Duncan. Boy, there's a lot of contact down in the paint. No look pass to Burrows. Starks. And finally a foul call.
Well, probably could have called about 4 of them before that, but they were letting the guys play. And somebody slammed a lid down on this right side of the basketball floor. Glendale couldn't find their way in, but now they'll have a chance at the charity stripe. Maurice Starks, the 6'2 senior, steps to the line, shooting 2.
Fouling Raphael Perry, his first. Starks a 75% free throw shooter this year. Glendale is a team at 69%. Falcons 2 for 2 from the line so far tonight. Starks with 5 points.
Really the first scoring we've seen now here in the second quarter. We're almost halfway through it. Let's get another good look at Starks, who's perfect from the line now with half a dozen.
27-23 Falcons, and traveling violation by the Tigers called on T.R. Raines right in front of the Waynesville bench.
Great defensive trap that time by the Falcons, and they reined Raines in, so to speak, right up against his own out-of-bounds line right in front of the team bench.
Burrows will give it right back to Waynesville on the traveling violation.
Another travel, Carl. There seems to be quite a bit of that going on here tonight as Tim McKnight hits him with that one.
In the meeting back on January 10th, Glendale led 30-24 at the half as the Falcons come up with a steal on the layup coming in by Burrows, or by Bobby Duncan. Timeout Tigers. Waynesville will call a 30-second timeout. So again, we'll keep it here with the Falcons up 29-23. Good sportsmanship isn't something that just happens. It's taught as a part of our high school activities program. In Missouri, good sportsmanship has become a tradition with our high school coaches, athletes, and fans. Respect by everyone helps make that happen. We at Mediacom Connections Channel 14 encourage you to help us continue a great Missouri tradition that's practiced both in small towns and big cities. Good sportsmanship. Give respect, get respect. The preceding message brought to you by your friends at the Missouri State High School Activities Association and Mediacom Connections Channel 14.
You just got a great look at that replay again, and Bobby Duncan with a fantastic anticipation drove back in the lane, grabs the no-look pass, lays it up and in. Those were his first 2 points of the night, so he's now in the scoring book. The Falcons have the 29-23 lead.
Full court press by Glendale. I like that to maybe get their offense jump-started. They have struggled here in the second quarter. Falcons commit a reaching-in foul. Bobby Duncan a little too close to Chris Rebuck. And George Rosenberry there also. Rosenberry will pick up his first personal.
Thad Hanna checks back into the ball game now for the Falcons. Bobby Duncan will have a seat.
That's Scott Clipp in for the Tigers. Waynesville only 3-6 in conference play this year. They came into district play with a 4-game losing streak, losing at home to Canton, at West Plains, at Parkview, and a 6-point loss at home to Kickapoo. Not the way you want to come into postseason play.
No, but when you look at those last couple games going up against Charles Frazier and the Vikings, Kyle Kirk and the Chiefs, those are not easy games to win regardless of what time of year it is.
Throw Kyle Cooper's name from West Plains in there as well. Clip guarded by Hanna. Glendale man-to-man defense. Dribble penetration. Inside by Ford. And Stacey Estes with a foul call underneath.
Bailed out. He's going to hit Thad Hanna with his second personal. And he was about to jump up the air, land back down with both feet. That was going to be another traveling call in the myriad of traveling calls that we've seen tonight. But gets bailed out on the foul.
Air ball put up by Danny Amons. Goes out of bounds. Last touch by Waynesville is Ernest Chambly back in for the Tigers. 29-23, Glendale by 6, halfway through the second quarter. Glendale had a 6-point lead at the end of the first quarter, 22-16. It's been a low-scoring second quarter. 7 points apiece for both clubs. Off the bounce pass, Thad Hanna. Burrows for 3. Long rebound out to Chris Rebuck. Clip better find a guard in a hurry. He does to Chambly.
That's the second or third time, Mike, here in the first half. He's been trapped controlling the ball at midcourt, but now he shows his range and drops down the 3.
Clip with 8, his second tray of the half on an 11-point per game average. Returning starter averaged 8 points last year. Spud Harbor short with a jumper. Tigers 3-on-2 the other way. And a hard foul. Ernest Chambly will go to the free throw line.
Probably going to get George Rosenberry that time, but probably a good call. Make him go to the line and earn him.
Second on Rosenberry. Ernest Chambly averaging 7 points per game, scored 11 in their semifinal win last night over Hillcrest. Gets the first free throw.
That's his first point in the contest tonight.
That's the first trip to the free throw line for the Tigers as Tristan Steele back in for Glendale.
Chambly, a 5'7" junior guard. You get a good look at him there. He buries them both.
Returning starter from last year's 11-15 club, averaged 6 points as a sophomore. 29-28. Another nice run for Waynesville as the Tigers reach in and pick up the personal foul. Chris Rebuck with his first. 8th team foul on Waynesville sends Maurice Starks to the line for the Falcons to shoot a 1-and-1.
He already made good on both of his first 2 free throw attempts in the first quarter. Chance here, and he drills the front end of the 1-and-1. 7 points now on the evening for Starks. We told you, an 85% free throw shooter. Another one of the seniors on this club for Sean Williamson. And he's 4 for 4 at the line.
31-28. Falcons again stay in full court pressure. Chambly for 3, air ball. Long outlet pass to Burrows for 2.
Scott Burrows did a good job that time to get out in front of the orange wave. Easy 2 points in transition. Now here's another turnover to 3, Mike.
For Rosenberry that won't go down. That would have brought the house down. Chambly's pass out of bounds.
I think Ernest may have thought Rebuck was going up for a little hang time. Lobbed it up like he was looking for the alley-oop. Rebuck was still on terra firma, though. Said, where's that going?
I've never heard the phrase on terra firma in a basketball game. Only for you.
Yeah, you know. If I'm anything, I'm creative.
There is Starks from the baseline for 3. 41st tray of the year for Maurice Starks. He's in double figures already with 10 on a 12-point per game average. Had 15 in their semifinal win over Rollin.
The Falcons already have 2 starters in double figures. Spud Harbor with 10 as well. George Rosenberry 1 point away at 9.
Harbor banks it in.
Make that a dozen now for Spud. And this game, Mike, has quickly gone from a 1-point differential to a 10-point Falcon stranglehold. And here they go again.
The 11-0 run for Glendale as Burrows hits the layup and draws the foul.
A half dozen now for Burrows, who has been leading the break in transition more than once so far here in the first half. As you take another look at it, he gets the turnover at midcourt. He's going to bring the length of the floor, lays it up with the left hand off the glass, drops it in. He goes to the free throw line for 1.
Scott Clipp picks up his first personal foul. Burrows, a 64% free throw shooter, will not complete the three-point play, rattles in and out. An 11-0 run for Glendale, up by a dozen. Deep 3 by the Tigers. Rebuck off the mark and a foul on Glendale on the rebound.
Bobby Duncan's going to get called coming over the back that time of Rebuck. That's his first personal foul. Second, pardon me.
A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll have the second half of the interview that Don West had with the late Kurt Gowdy. When Kurt Gowdy was in Springfield back in April of 1994 as part of the Hall of Fame inductions for Johnny Morris. 3-point shot, no good. Look at the battle for the rebound, go out of bounds, and it will belong to the Falcons.
Back on the old sports line set. I was never around for that, but...
You were just a youth in Webb City then, you know it?
Yes. The glory days.
Falcons by 12 with possession, a minute to go in the first quarter. This was a 1-point game earlier this quarter at 29-28. All of a sudden, the lead pushed to 12. Here's Burrows with the left hand.
Scott Burrows is just unleashed here in the second quarter, Mike, for the Falcons. He now has 8 points.
6 of his 8 here in the second quarter. 42-28. 13-0 run. Ball poked away. Great steal by Rosenberry. Layup, steal.
Tristan Steele now the scorebook with 2. And another great no-look pass. The Falcons just throwing the ball all over the floor, and they know where one another are. As Waynesville brings in a couple more substitutions to get some fresh legs in the final 30 seconds.
Boy, that's a great point you made. They know where they are on the floor. They know where their teammates are. They don't have to look. They know they're going to be in a certain spot, and they're there. Waynesville breaks full court pressure, but again, a late pass stolen by Bobby Duncan. I don't think they'll hold for the last shot with 21 seconds. They're just going to go ahead and put it up.
Look like it.
Harbor.
Spud.
Are you kidding me? Spud Harbor with 15 in the half. 47-28 Glendale with 9 seconds to go. The leaner off the glass too strong with 4 seconds. Spud Harbor, a rare miss by the Falcons in the last 4 minutes. An 18-0 run by Glendale to close out the half. We're at the halftime break. Falcons lead at 47-28. Mike McClure along with Corey Riggs. We are at halftime of the Class 5 District 11 Boys Championship game at Glendale, where the top seed Falcons lead the second seed Waynesville Tigers 47-28. At one point in the second quarter, Glendale's lead was cut down to 1, 29-28. But Corey, how about an 18-0 run by Glendale? I mean, they just did it amazingly fast. I mean, just a couple of blinks of the eye, it was like a 10-0 run, then 14-0, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, Waynesville has just happy to see the halftime buzzer sound.
Well, you know, they were happy with the first quarter buzzer sound. They bank in an almost 70-foot tray there. But then in the second quarter, Glendale put the pedal to the metal. And guys like Spud Harbor, George Rosenberry, Maurice Starks, they've just come unhinged. The three-point shots have been falling. They've made all their free throws when they've got a chance to go to the line. And now you'll have a chance here to look at some of the first half highlights as we go back through the first 16 minutes. Take a look here. The Falcons always deadly from outside.
Spud Harbor, one of 8 three-point baskets made by Glendale. Harbor with 4 threes. Rosenberry hit 3, and that was the three-point play and the foul that Spud Harbor turned into the 4-point opportunity. Waynesville tried to answer with the outside shooting of Chris Rebuck, but a no-look pass into Scott Burrows. Glendale doing it from the inside and the outside. Here's the 70-foot shot by Raines to end the first quarter. It counted. That cut the score at the time to 22-16. Terrific outside shooting. There is Clip for a 3-ball. He had 8 points in the first half. Scott Burrows, again, the snowbird. A lot of easy layups at the other end in transition. Another 3 by Spud Harbor on the outside. He had 15 in the first half. It's Glendale leading at half, 47-28 over Waynesville. We are at halftime. Glendale leading Waynesville 47-28. Back with the second half right after this. Corey Riggs back at Glendale. The Falcons lead at 47-28 to start the third, and my pleasure to welcome alongside Corey Riggs.
Thanks, Mike, and we get underway here, and the Falcons have control of the ball. Spud Harbor trying to pick up right where he left off. Launches from 3, no good. Rebound pulled down by Rebuck, and we're going the other way with the Tigers. Down in the low post, kick it back out to Clip. They work the ball back outside. A three-pointer no good for Chamblee. Offensive rebound and a putback, though. Down low that time is number 32, Michael Moore, with his first 2 points of the night. They try to cut into this lead now 47-30. The Falcons with the ball and the lead.
Waynesville is going to have to make every possession count, but they also have to do it at the defensive end.
George Rosenberry, another three-point opportunity missed by the Falcons. 2 early misses, and the Tigers quickly come back down. Count that, and 1. Another quick score that time by Michael Moore, and he'll now go to the charity stripe to try and make the three-point play.
Good start for Waynesville here in the third quarter as Moore drawing contact inside. Spud Harbor's first personal foul.
Moore out and very aggressive as they get started. His free throw attempt up on the way, and it rattles around the rim, off no good. Offensive rebound, though. They'll have another shot at it. Moore again leaves it short. Rebound pulled down by Burrows. Falcons running the floor now, and we'll have another quick foul call. A little out of control that time was Thad Hanna, but Waynesville will pick up the foul. Michael Moore, who off the bench all of a sudden with 4 points here to start the second half, picks up his first foul.
Didn't quite have the feet set. Pretty good collision to the left of the basket, but a good call by the officials. Shooting opportunity for Thad Hanna.
Hanna at the line, a 69% free throw shooter. He drops the first one up and in. Hanna's first point of the night, Mike.
Glendale 6 for 7 from the free throw line this evening.
Making the easy ones so far for Coach Sean Williamson. And his second opportunity up. Nothing but net as he drops that in now. 2 points for Thad Hanna. The Falcons bring back the full court presser, but the Tigers break it easily. Long shot on the way, no good for Rebuck. The ball out of bounds and will go to the Falcons. Maurice Starks now checking back into the ball game for Glendale. He'll replace Tristan Steele.
To see who was going to go get the breather, because he could come in for just about any of the 5 players on the floor. He's that versatile.
Starks having a great first half too, 11 points in the first for the senior. Now we'll have a quick hand check foul that time as George Rosenberry brought it across midcourt. That's the third personal now, Mike, on Frankie Long, the first player to get into what you could even reasonably call foul trouble now with 3. Spud Harbor out left wing, cross court pass, Starks. Starks 3-ball on the way. Too long, rebound pulled down though, and the Falcons will have another chance as Rosenberry brings it between the circles. He and Harbor play catch, now cross court again to Burrows. And we'll try to work the ball down low, a little inside out move. Harbor off the drive, outside 3-ball again short. The Falcons, Mike, having a hard time finding their range here in the early goings in the second half.
Strangely, they look tired, and they're just coming out of the locker room at halftime. You'd expect this maybe late in either half, but they just have tired legs. They look to be about a step slow and everything here in the start of the third quarter.
Starks and Rosenberry trying to get the loose ball out of bounds, but it'll stay with the Tigers of Waynesville. 49-32 is the score, a little more than 2 minutes into the third quarter. Starks bats the inbounds pass, back out of bounds. Chris Rebuck, the 6'3" sophomore, trying to inbounds for Waynesville. They finally get the ball back into play with 6 minutes to go here in the third. Rebuck now, out right wing, looks down low to Clip. Clip off the low post, one up high off the glass and in. 10 points now in the contest for Scott Clip. Glendale now with the ball. Harbor from the corner for 3, no good, but he gets his own rebound, drives the lane, quick pass to Starks who puts it up, and it rolls home. Maurice Starks now with 13,
Great
Mike.
pass from Spud Harbor, and Starks had to use a little body English to get it in as the Falcons come up with a steal.
Quick turnover now. Rosenberry tries to flip it down low to Starks, but the Waynesville Tigers recollect the ball. That one batted out of bounds, but it'll stay with the orange and black Tigers. Checking back into action now, Justin Barra, his first action of the night actually, coming off the bench for Sean Williamson, as you see the acrobatic moves of Maurice Starks.
Even Starks thought it was going to spin out. He was jumping up in front of the hoop for a possible tip-in, but didn't need to.
Falcons press again. Waynesville no problem breaking it though. They work the ball out around the arc. Clip now at the free throw line. Launches no good. Rebuck with the offensive board. Put back no good. Now the ball controlled by Rosenberry. Out long now to Starks, who lays it up and in. Maurice Starks on fire, Mike. 15 points now. Starks 15, Harbor 15. They are leading the way for Glendale.
Just a balanced attack like it normally is for Sean Williamson's ball club.
But that's 15 points off the bench, not 15 bench points. Maurice Starks has 15 off the bench.
He does that consistently. He averages 12 points per game.
Here we go again, too. Starks the long outlet pass, and he just collects another 2 easy points. It couldn't get any easier for Maurice Starks right now.
6-0 run by Glendale.
4:23 remaining here in the third. Waynesville are going to have to try and shoot their way back into this. 3 no good for Clip. Scramble for the ball. Burrows is going to get called for the foul as he runs out of bounds. Ball will go to Waynesville.
Burrows was called for the personal foul, his first.
Checking back into the ball game for Waynesville, number 24, LJ Fort. He gives Michael Moore a chance to catch his breath. And Waynesville back to the offensive attack. Nice dribble drive that time by Ernest Chambly. Chambly now with 4 points in the contest. Spud Harbor, top of your screen. Cross-court pass to Starks. Back now to Harbor in a 2-man game. Now Rosenberry gets involved. Rosenberry now between the circles. Harbor left wing 3-ball. And Spud still hasn't found the range on the scope yet for those threes as they haven't begun to fall. Now a 3-point opportunity for the Tigers, no good for Chambly, and we're racing back again the other way. Harbor crossover, no look pass. Rosenberry 3-ball, good! George Rosenberry with a dozen now.
All on 3-point baskets. He's hit 4 threes.
Falcons may be eyeing in those long distance shots again as Rosenberry gets off the snide, gets his first for the second half. Big 3-ball on the way, too strong for Waynesville, and the Falcons flying high again. Starks tries to collect a pass from Burrows that goes out of bounds. They'll maintain possession though. Bobby Duncan now back into the ball game.
Dominic Long in for Waynesville. Checking out is Justin Bear for the Falcons. Getting a breather for Waynesville will be Chris Rebuck.
And breather is the operative term as these two teams have been flying up and down the floor. Rosenberry, same spot, same result. George Rosenberry. Now 3 Falcons with 15 points in the game. More full court Falcon pressure. They get it across midcourt now. And LJ Fort tries to set the offense. Clip back down to Fort. Fort in between 2 defenders. His shot no good. Burrows fights for the rebound, but Rosenberry collects it. Frankie Long hits the deck, no call. And just a very slow, methodical pace for the Falcons as they work the ball out around the perimeter. The 3 for Starks, no good. And Spud Harbor comes up with a midcourt pick. Hands it off, Starks with one hand, puts it up and over.
Starks is having fun this quarter.
Oh, 18 points now. 2:18 to go, 63-36 the score. Waynesville finally gets one back though.
Frankie Long on an 8-point per game average, fighting with his first 2 of the night.
Now we're gonna have a charge. The Falcons getting a little out of control in the run and gun offense. Bobby Duncan picks up the foul. I believe that's his 3rd, Mike. Take another look at it there as you see him just kind of drive the hip in. And that will be 3 personals now on Bobby Duncan, the 5'10" senior guard.
Just the 3rd team foul on Glendale. Waynesville only 2 team fouls so far in the second half. We played about 6 minutes.
Fouls really not much of an issue to speak of, but 3s are going to have to become an issue, and there they force one. 34, Dominique Long now has 6 points. 3 points, getting them and denying them for the Falcons. A big, big deal now as the minutes are starting to not become friendly to the Tigers. 1:43 to play, 63 Glendale, 40 Waynesville. Falcons now slow the ball down and go into a half-court set. Maybe the first time we've seen a half-court set all night.
As long as they've held on to the ball without shooting it.
Bobby Duncan feeds down and low to Maurice Starks. Starks on the shot, no good, but he'll go to the free throw line and get the opportunity to shoot a pair. 44, Scott Clipp, the 6'5" junior center, called with the foul.
Well, I think the score should be 41 for Waynesville. They gave Dominic Long credit for a 3, and at the time it was 63-38. There's kind of a question at the scores table right now as Starks goes ahead with the free throws.
Starks a 75% free throw shooter, as we've told you.
They do correct the score. It is now 64-41.
George Rosenberry checks back in the ball game. Spud Harbor now a chance to catch his breath. That's 20 points now for Maurice Starks to lead all scores.
His season high 22 against Rava.
Another free throw opportunity here for Starks. Chance to close into 1 point on that high, and he does so. 21 now for the senior. Glendale has brought the full court pressure all night. Mike hasn't got a lot out of it other than not allowing Waynesville to get into a half-court set.
Well, that's just it. They've disrupted Waynesville offensively, and Glendale has hit a lot of nice runs in this game. Of course, none nicer than that 18-0 run to close the half to lead 47-28.
Scott Burrows picks up the Glendale foul. Thad Hanna checks back in now. He replaces Burrows.
25 has been the biggest lead for Glendale this quarter. The lead currently at 24.
Another three-pointer on the way, no good.
Look
And
out.
a fight for the ball, and looks like Bobby Duncan rolled over 2 Tigers. The ball will stay with Waynesville. Duncan kind of like, boy, how much more do I have to give you to try and get the ball here?
There wasn't that much contact in the Pro Bowl.
No, there never is. Scott Clipp now in the low post spin move. His shot no good, rebound pulled down by Steele, but we're gonna have a foul call before that. McKnight's gonna saddle Thad Hanna with the foul. His 3rd personal.
So he with 3, Bobby Duncan with 3 for Glendale.
Clipp now at the free throw line. 10 points on the night for Scott. His first opportunity no good, and that's a no-no right now. Is checking back into the ball game is T.R. Raines. 65-41. If you get the clock stopped and have a chance to make buckets, you've got to make them. The 6'5" junior's second opportunity rattles in 11 points now for Cliff.
Which is his per game average, his season high 20 against Sedalia this year.
Rosenberry now with the rock. Kicks it out right wing to Steele. Steele's shot no good. Two Falcons converge on the rebound, and guess who? Maurice Starks. 2 more, that's 23 now, Mike.
A new season high for Starks.
Baseball pass quickly to Moore on the other end for the Tigers. He'll collect the foul and go to the free throw line. They're gonna call Tristan Steele with the foul, his first personal. Shooting 2 is Michael Moore, not to be confused with the liberal filmmaker. Oh, that hit dead on the back iron, and a little English on it brought it back. Michael Moore now with 5, some wholesale changes as Burrows checks back into the ball game. Along with number 40 for Waynesville, that's Raphael Perry, his first action tonight. Good look at Mike Moore, 6 foot forward, senior for Waynesville. His second opportunity up and no good. Rebound pulled down by the Falcons. Big board for Maurice Starks. 45 seconds to go here in the third frame. Starks across midcourt. Down low quickly, a hard foul, and counted as Justin Bear with the clutch shot. Bear's first 2 points of the night, and that was a hard foul.
A great catch by Bear on that rifle pass, and then the added benefit of getting the basket and drawing the foul.
Michael Moore with his third personal. Bear makes good on the old school 3-point play, his first 3 of the night, 35 seconds remaining. That ball will still be in the possession of the Waynesville Tigers.
Glendale 5 for 5 from the free throw line in this quarter, 10 for 11 in the game.
Michael Moore back to work, spin move, right-handed shot up, no good. Starks with the pull, Harbor with the rock, and here come the Falcons. Spud, no look pass down low to Burrows. Burrows with the left hand, no good. Rebound controlled by the Tigers. 17 to play here in the third. Quick transition bucket and another opportunity. Raphael Perry in off the bench gets into the scoring column. Maurice Starks with the foul.
Just get an idea how much Waynesville enjoys running the floor. They just haven't had that many transition baskets in this game.
.13 to play. Rosenberry runs the floor now. Quick pass to Starks, who's just been unconscious all night. That time unable to rein it in. And we're hearing from the truck, Mike, that it sounds like the Kickapoo-Nixa game is going to overtime in Joplin.
Their 4th meeting of the year, and 32 minutes not enough to decide a sectional qualifier.
Last shot for the Tigers here in the third. They've got to get a quick 3 off. That one up, off the iron, no good for Dominique Long, and that's where we'll end the third quarter, everybody. The Glendale Falcons running away with it. They lead this one 70-45. Welcome back to the MediaCom Connection, Channel 14, everybody. 4th quarter action from Glendale High School in the district, Class 5 district finals. And here with the play-by-play to bring us home is Mike McClure.
Okay, Corey, thank you very much. As the jumper, no good by Dominique Long, and then a turnover by Glendale will give it right back to Waynesville. Can you believe the Falcons are at 70 after 3 quarters? I mean, there was that point in the second quarter, about halfway through the second, where it was 29-28, and you thought, oh boy, what's wrong with Glendale? Well, nothing. Thank you very much. 70-45 after 3.
Not much of anything, really, but with a 25-point lead, now you've got to wonder when Sean Williamson will kind of call off the dogs, so to speak. As we get underway here, Thad Hanna, Maurice Starks, George Rosenberry, Spud Harbor, Scott Burrows, all the Falcons' main guys in. And now it looks like Waynesville will bring their starting crew back in for the most part, as you see.
L.J. Ford, Scott Clipp, and Danny Ammons all checking back in. Winner of this game will play at 8:15 Wednesday night, March the 1st at Southwest Baptist University in Bolivar in the Class 5 sectionals against either Kickapoo or Nixa. That game in overtime down in Joplin. 3-ball by Clipp, who has 14.
Nice range for the big man, 6'5", stepping outside and dropping the try.
Girls championship earlier tonight here at Glendale, won by Hillcrest. 49-48 over Rolla. Hillcrest will play the Parkview Lady Vikings up in Bolivar Wednesday night. Parkview a 33-28 winner over the Kickapoo Lady Chiefs.
Spud Harbor lost the handle on it that time, but they'll maintain possession.
Rosenberry into Starks. What a third quarter he had. 23 points in the game, 12 of those in the third quarter. Rosenberry misfires from three. Dominique Long on the Snowbird. He has 8. 70-50, the Glendale lead down to 20. Under 7 minutes to go. Starks, too strong. And the Tigers throw it away. They had Rebuck wide open at the other end of the floor.
And now you start looking at Glendale and Kickapoo part 2, part 3, with the Falcons in control here. If the Chiefs get a win, arguably one of the most exciting games of the season played on the floor at Weiser Gym between those two clubs. But Nixa, I mean, who's just done a phenomenal job this year.
We will await the final from Joplin. There is the first personal foul on the third personal foul on Dominique Long. Glendale basketball in a 20-point lead with 6.5 minutes to play. Scott Burrows, 8 points, all of them in the first half, hasn't scored in the second. Rosenberry to Hannah. Glendale will be in no hurry to shoot with a 20-point lead. They're going to force Waynesville to play some defense, try and tire out their legs and make them chase the basketball. Thad Hannah, just 2 points on the night on a 5-point per game average. Harbor for 3. Rebound to LJ Fort. Scott Clip for 3. Rebound Burrows. Again, not too much of a hurry to push it up the floor. Down to 5:40 to go, and an offensive foul called on Spud Harbor, his second.
And Spud, a fairly animated basketball player, just kind of looks that one off. All right, fine. 20-point lead, sure, charging, whatever.
Bobby Duncan, Justin Barron for Glendale. Falcons going after their 15th district title, their last one coming back in 2003. Right through the hands of Rebuck, out of bounds.
And when things aren't going your way, Mike, they just aren't going your way. Chris Rebuck just watched that one go right through his hands and almost into the lap of his teammates sitting on the bench.
Duncan. Rosenberry to Burrows out near the center circle. Nice steal by Fort. A nice steal by Harbor.
An even better steal by Spud Harbor. And once again, not in any hurry to do much of anything offense here as we clip under 5 minutes to go.
I know the Glendale kids want to keep running up and down the floor, but this is the wise thing to do with a 20-point lead.
Well, and if Coach Williamson can continue to get this out of them, if he's going to leave his starters in, that just shows the maturity and teaches the patience that you've got to have to make a long run into the playoffs.
Only 5 team fouls on Waynesville. Falcons nearly turn it over. Burrows. Rosenberry. The old Dean Smith four-corner offense.
The Glendale fans on their feet chanting the whole time, just as the Falcons offense worked the perimeter passing. You know, just like you're talking about, playing a little old Dean ball, 4 corners, and the kids are on their feet applauding it, cheering for it, knowing what's coming, which is a trip out to ball.
4th personal foul on Dominique Long. Fouled in the act of shooting. Bobby Duncan will go to the free throw line. Just a 42% free throw shooter. First one no good. Just the second miss for Glendale. Now 10 for 12 is Steele back in for the Falcons. And back in for Waynesville, T.R. Raines.
You know, we mentioned in the first game, today's Don's birthday. You know who else's birthday it is today?
I do not.
John Q. Hammonds.
84?
I don't know. I hope he gets the card, I said. That's... Oh.
We'll pass that along here in just a moment. His nice ball fake and the shot off the glass up and in by Danny Ammons. His first 2. Kickapoo and Nixa has gone to double overtime down in Joplin. Dribble drive by Spud Harbor. Foul on the floor before the shot. It'll be the 7th team foul on Waynesville. Spud Harbor at the line for a 1-and-1. T.R. Raines first personal.
You know what? I heard a rumor he's getting another building with his name on it. I don't know if that's his birthday present to himself.
His initials are on it anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Hammonds.
Yes, trust me. I spent a lot of times following the Bears and Lady Bears around with Don, and we're gonna be more than appreciative to have a nice new place to call home for the few home games that we do.
Spud Harbor, the foul line, first one up and in. Corey, that's his first point of the half. 16 in the game. He hit 15 at halftime on 4 threes. And the second free throw all net.
Well, he didn't have to do much, like have another steal right there when Starks was just lighting the world on fire in the second half.
Halfway through the fourth quarter, a reaching in foul on the Tigers on T.R. Raines. His second. Back in for Waynesville, Frankie Long. T.R. Raines to the Tiger bench. George Rosenberry at the stripe. 83% free throw shooter this year. Missing the front end of the 1-and-1. Tigers with the rebound. Penetration by Fort. Frankie Long, wow, collision and a MasterCard. Justin Bear just got plowed in the lane as he draws the charge.
Justin Bear has done that a couple times tonight. The 6-foot-tall senior forward comes in off the bench for Coach Williamson and does whatever it takes. He came in and took a hard foul earlier, got the bucket and the free throw opportunity, and there draws just a wicked charge.
Fourth personal on Frankie Long. Baseball pass to Rosenberry. Poked out by Frankie Long. Falcons will keep possession.
Tried to run the floor really quickly that time, unable to. Good defense back in the secondary that time. Can't believe that Kickapoo-Nixa game's going to double overtime.
How fun. I love district championship night.
Well, it's just such a great time of year. I mean, if you were a sports fan and you get into late February, early March, college basketball, high school basketball, stock car racing has come back. The NBA's in full swing. You've got the Olympics going on right now. How do you get off your couch? Checking back into the ball game for the Falcons, Maurice Starks, number 23, along with Thad Hanna.
Still a 72-52 lead for Glendale with 3:20 to play. Sean Williamson still making substitutions. Waynesville just kind of running out of time. A steal by Steele. Again, going to use some more clock. The next Waynesville foul will put Glendale in the double bonus.
And I don't know, at 20 points, is there really much of a reason to at this point in time? You see so many high school games come down to this where you've got a foul, send the team with the lead to the line, and there you're going to get it. A hard foul against Burroughs.
Put Scott Burroughs, a 64% free throw shooter at the line for 2 shots.
Now, I will continue with what this day is, because not only is it Don West's birthday, not only is it John Q. Hammond's birthday, but today is my wife and I's 5-year wedding anniversary. You can imagine how much hot water I'm in for being here at work.
Full timeout taken by the Tigers. We'll take a break. 2:48 to play. It's the Falcons by 20. Mike McClure, Corey Riggs back at Glendale. Scott Burroughs hits the first of 2 free throws. He has 9 points, and the lead for Glendale at 73-52.
This shot here makes it the second Glendale Falcon player to go into double figures tonight.
That's amazing because they've scored 74 points.
Yep, Rosenberry, Harbor, Starks, Burroughs, all double-digit scoring column.
Inside Perry, lost it. Down to 2.5 minutes to go as Glendale getting to celebrate their 15th district title and the sweeter opportunity to do it on their home court. One more game for the Glendale seniors at least. And still don't know the opponent as Kickapoo and Nixon double overtime down in Joplin as a foul called on Waynesville stops the clock with 2:09 to play.
The seniors for Glendale, Bobby Duncan, Justin Baer, George Rosenberry, Maurice Starks, Thad Hanna, all seniors. All guys that have played a pivotal role in the game tonight. Duncan and Baer have logged good minutes coming off the bench. And then Rosenberry, Starks, Thad Hanna, pretty easy. Also Michael Frazier, number 25.
Maurice Starks has had a solid game tonight. 24 points off the bench, a new season high. As T.R. Raines checks out and gets a nice hand from the Waynesville fans. Starks hits them both. He has 25.
What a night. Checking also into the ball game is the aforementioned Michael Frazier now. Frazier is 6'5", senior forward.
Falcons by 24. 2 minutes away from a district title. A leader up and in by Catrone Blanks. Now it's perhaps time for the Falcon student body to start celebrating, and they have obliged with the rhythmic clapping on the far side. Glendale will improve to 10-1 on their home floor. The lone loss coming to Poplar Bluff in the Winter Classic back on January 21st, 68-59.
And have you had a chance lately to see Tyler Hansborough
if he's
on
not the
Sports
freshman
Center
player of the year?
You know, you and Don and I have done a lot of great games and seen a lot of great players together, but I don't know that we'll ever see as great a player as what we're seeing right now in Tyler Hansborough. Waynesville's faithful giving Danny Ammons a good round of applause, or pardon me, Frankie Long.
Fouled out of the game with 2 points.
As he comes out, Rosenberry still just doing what he does.
Falcons 17 for 20 from the line tonight. Make it 18 for 21.
That's 17 points for George Rosenberry, who'll now take a seat. He's replaced by Stephen Alford.
Sean Williamson is doing a terrific job here at Glendale. 23-5 last year, going to improve to 22-6 with the victory tonight. And they've had only 2 losing seasons in 43 years of Glendale basketball. Just an incredible stat. Long rebound out to Steele. Near steal by Waynesville, but the basketball will go back over to Glendale.
Michael Moore tried to come up and create the turnover, but he was unable to, as the Falcons will get to maintain possession with 1:16, and maybe this will be a short enough time to run down some clock, or they'll just fire up a 3.
Frazier misfires from 3. He's made 7 this year from 3-point range.
Well, now you've got the guys who don't see the majority of the playing time on the floor. They want to get their chance to get a little something in the stat column.
Catrone Blanks. Well, Tristan Steele's still in the game. He was a starter for Glendale. He's about the only starter still in. Here's a 3-ball by Baer and a foul. They'll get 3 free throws.
Justin Baer has 3 points in the contest tonight. And he'll get a chance to double that with 3 shots from the charity stripe. I believe they got Michael Moore with the foul, and that may be all she wrote for Michael Moore, as the Longhorn lets him know his night is over.
He fouls out with 5 points on a 3-point per game average, gets a nice hand. And
Dominique Long, number 34, comes in to replace him.
tough for the seniors for Waynesville as they play their final game.
Frankie Long, as we mentioned, a senior guard. Michael Moore also, who just fouled out with 5 points.
That's it.
And
wow.
That's it for them.
Loaded next year.
The rest of the way, Mike, it's juniors and sophomores. Dominique Long, sophomore. Chris Rebuck, sophomore. Fort Raines, sophomores. This is a team that is going to be making noise for the next couple years. You can bank on it.
Baer missed the first, hits the second. He'll get 1 more. Dan Kickham checking in, replacing Bobby Duncan. Again, the senior gets a nice hand. Well, the Falcons can hit 80 with the free throw by Baer. He obliges.
And that has been the magic number here of late. getting over that 80-point plateau. They did it tonight. A lot of three-pointers, a lot of transition baskets, and a lot of good rebounding, as you see another one here by kickoff.
Their season total, they came in averaging 72.3 points per game. That was tied for best in school history with the 1968-69 team. They're going to go over that, of course, tonight as a foul will send Dan Kickham to the foul line. In their last 8 games, they've been averaging 86.5 points. Their last 6 games, averaging 89 points per game. Capped off by the 102 in the victory last night over Rolla. That's 182 points right now, total in 2 nights.
Rafael Perry gets his 3rd personal. And the free throw drops in for Dan Kickham. We missed that he's out on the floor with his brother Mike as well, Mike Kickham. Both 6'2" sophomore forwards.
They can all hit free throws.
Ought to.
Yep, you better if you play for Coach Williamson. 82-56 Falcons, turnover Waynesville with 26 seconds to go. We will try and get a Kickapoo-Nixa final. It's in double overtime before we...
It's really more if they oblige us.
Yeah.
It may be triple overtime by the time we end this one.
It will be the Parkview girls against Hillcrest. Wednesday at 6:30, Southwest Baptist. Short jumper is up and in for Stephen Alford. Everybody's getting in the act for the Falcons. The 3 ball will count for blanks to account for our final score. Glendale wins the district 84-59 over the Waynesville Tigers. The Falcons now 22-6 as they advance to sectional play next Wednesday night. Mike McClure along with Corey Riggs back at Falcon Court where the Glendale Falcons celebrate a district championship. An 84-56 win over the Waynesville Tigers. Glendale picks up their 5th victory in a row to improve to 22-6. Waynesville season ends at 17-10. The 15th district title for Glendale, a very deserving #1 seed. And congratulations to Sean Williamson and the Falcons.
Ron, they showed us a lot tonight. This Glendale Falcon team got the lead early, and they weren't going to give it up. Late in the first quarter, early in the second quarter, Waynesville tried to get back into it, tried to claw their way back. The Falcons seniors and juniors would not let that happen. They would not let it go, and the result is up on the scoreboard, and it's a good one for the Falcons.
This was a 29-28 game about halfway through the second quarter, and then Glendale goes on an 18-0 run to lead at half 47-28. Corey, literally the ball game was over at that point. They played such great basketball the last 4 minutes of the half, and the run just decimated Waynesville.
Well, and in every aspect of the ball game, Mike, not only did they shoot well, I mean, they had guys that shot lights out tonight. George Rosenberry, Spud Harper, Maurice Starks with a career high, Scott Burrows. Not only did they score well, but they played tenacious defense, continued the full court pressure all night long, made their free throws, out-rebounded Waynesville, created a number of turnovers. I mean, just everywhere in the fundamental book you find it, Sean Williamson and the Falcons did that tonight. And trust me, you're going to want to see this one again if you have the opportunity.
Our replay times, if you're watching us on Saturday night, we'll have it again Sunday at 5 p.m. and Monday afternoon starting at 4 p.m. We will have the girls contest first, which was won by Hillcrest earlier this evening, 49-48 over Rolla, and that'll be immediately followed by the boys contest, which again Glendale wins by the final of 84-56. Our next Mediacom telecast will be from games that will be played on Wednesday, March 1st. The first rebroadcast will be on Thursday, March the 2nd. We'll announce the times. It's the Class 5 sectionals at Southwest Baptist University in Bolivar, the Parkview Lady Vikings and the Hillcrest Lady Hornets at 6:30 to be followed by the boys contest. Glendale versus either Kickapoo or Nixa. That game is now in triple overtime at Joplin High School. Still to be determined the Glendale Falcons opponent.
Well, that's been a season, a series all year that's been tight for them. But great game there and great games here tonight. Glendale Falcons are your champs.
Congratulations to the Falcons. They were led by Maurice Starks, who had a season-high 25 points. That'll wrap it up tonight from Glendale. For Corey Riggs, for all our camera guys, everybody in the truck, and for Don West, I'm Mike McClure. Thanks for joining us on District Championship Night, and good night from Falcon Court.